Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Writers Infusion. I'm your host, Susan. I'm here with Dave, Jen, Julie, and Ed.
Okay, Dave.
Let me be the
curmudgeon.
The horror of the group. Can I plead with you, Jack?
Here we go.
Ignore everything that they said.
Oh!
That's not hating the story.
I never said I hated the
this.
story.
Let's reword this.
I never said that. I don't even like that word hate.
Also,
So I agree with what everyone's, maybe not Dave.
Yeah, now there's obviously tension between the sisters.
there's tension among us.
And we have no idea.
Between present and past, I thought were great. I know exactly where I was.
Oh,
And that's hard to do.
I didn't.
You didn't?
You're on the dog. You're on the dog.
I was lost.
With what,
Come on, agree with me on something, Jen.
now I'm gonna contradict myself and disagree with myself, right? So you have him.
So you agree with me in a way.
And
I say I agree with Dave.
I'm leaving.
I know it's scary. Your work is done. I
I'm
agree
done
with
here.
Dave. Dave, I'm about to fall off my stool because I agree with you again on page
I'm
2.
done.
I don't know, a person making tea while there are bombs falling around outside. Tell us about the bombs that are falling.
Right.
Yes.
Don't tell us about the tea.
I'm like a horse. I don't know where I'm going. You're going to tell me where to go, and I'll go there, and I'll enjoy the trip.
the back page anyway,
So you're a
so
horse too, then.
I was just gonna thank you for not calling me a horse.
Not remarkable. They're kind of dull.
And the characters seem two-dimensional. I don't mean to offend you. Two-dimensional, and they're wading through molasses. They're just moving so slowly.
That's
The gel between the vertebrae. You know, we need the intervening pieces
The
here.
gel between the vertebrae.
My dad-
Wow.
Back issues recently. I'm thinking the gel
Nice
between the
cushion. They're like-
vertebrae.
Nice image
I like
there.
Yeah.
Probably.
Think of punctuation as if you were driving with no traffic signals.
Yeah.
You're taking us too quickly. The signposts are flying by me and I can't read them.
We're on a wide-angle lens here. And if you want it to be about Lily, then maybe you zoom in on Lily. And
Make every sentence an event. You're wasting, think of, you have to pay for the words. Don't pay too much for words. Use them properly and you won't have to overpay.
Yes,
I actually Googled skateboarding in Tehran just to see if there was such a
really?
thing. And sure, there is. There are skateboard parks.
Get out.
So-
And just for the record, it was Perseus that killed Medusa, not Jason. The argument.
There you go.
You're absolutely right. I read Jason and it was Perseus.
You're right.
Yes,
You're
yes,
right.
yes.
A couple of questions. You must complete 3 challenges based on the 3 elements of water. It's more
It's
phases,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I don't think they speak like upper-class British people. They use a lot of common expressions and a lot of American expressions.
I
Like
just
wow.
wrote that
Yes.
one down too.
Oh.
I said, was there even wow in 1918?
Yeah. So interesting.
I will tell you, I just looked up Cantor, and it comes from Canterbury Tales. It's the pace at which the Pilgrims rode to Canterbury. I love that. I didn't know.
Now, entropy means disorder.
Right.
So it's a measure of.
In the last paragraph, it's defined as we had defined earlier on.
Right. And
I know.
Good point.
good.
Vocabulary checklist. Yeah. Bonus points for Sue.
By the way, the Earth was not formed in the Big Bang. So if he is the alien and he's supposed to know all about science, then you want to correct
That's
that.
true.
Okay, again, you're scaring me with all your knowledge about aliens.
I'm getting my money's worth out of that physics degree.
Awesome.
Jilt, there's a lot of jiltedness. Is that a word?
I like it. That's
About
fine.
like
That was
somebody-
right. Jiltedness.
Gilded. It doesn't
First
sound right.
reference.
All right, I'm sorry.
If you're going to read it, somebody has to be nice. You have to have compassion for someone that you're following on. Because remember,
Yes.
all literature, you're eavesdropping in people's lives.
Oh, I like that.
And that's what it is. And
People don't usually read out loud.
No.
Does it give you a different feel for the story?
You'll catch a lot more errors when you read it out loud.
That's what we
That-
Sometimes just go forward with the rest of your story. Sometimes when you're done, that's when you're capable of going back and saying, I
get
didn't really
clarity.
need that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I
Yes.
wouldn't worry about it so much yet.
Not
I
in
would
first
worry about it
draft.
at the, right,
Yeah.
I would worry about it after first draft.
Yeah.
And that
But what is changing for the characters?
right.
I mean, her husband was dead. He's still dead. She was taking care of her kids. She's still taking care of her kids. They were rich. She's still rich. What exactly has changed
Yeah, there's nothing
That's a great
vested.
point.
for this?
There's no
for this
problem
woman
yet.
from beginning?
The first page of 10 successful novels. Bam,
And
there.
if you
great
can,
advice.
if you can, pick novels by new authors
Yes.
because they are under much more scrutiny
Yes.
than established.
And
Especially where this is a short story. I mean, every word has to count.
oh, that's right. It is
It's a short story. It's not a
Yes,
novel. So to
yes.
have 2 pages of backstory and setting, just get to the story, get to the.
paragraphs, and that's the other thing about writing action adventure. One of the tricks that I learned a while back is when you're trying to write something and you want the reader to read it quickly and it to flow quickly, you have small pieces. When you-
Properly, and this is where the writer's art comes in. And you'll spend hours trying to rearrange this whole thing. It's going to take forever. Because you've got, these are all
Very
top.
encouraging, isn't it?
No, I'm not kidding, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah, you trust the reader.
Yeah.
Not me, I need to be held.
Yes.
I need hugs.
Yes.
All the way through.
Dave, that is so you. When I look at you, I think
Hugs.
warm and
Okay, my first comment is,
That's terrible. You can't start like that.
What do you mean by
But I had a hard
the
time
thought
with it, too.
of an entire novel with Eva as the main character,
Yes,
I want to
doesn't
gnaw
appeal.
off a limb to escape. He has a girl take interest in him in his very first class. A teacher ask him how he is. In my life, that never happened to me.
Absolutely.
And then a pretty girl seek him out and start talking to him.
Yes.
It's like, this kid has hit the lottery 3 times
Yes.
in one day.
And he's still whining.
And he's still whining.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, this is a cliche. I wrote down, she has raven black hair and piercing dark eyes.
I
wrote,
know.
of course. Of course she does. She has,
Do you want to have an
you know,
80s perm with light hair? No,
she has
no.
a blunt face and a thin mouth turned downward, and it's like,
know.
of course she does.
I like.
Writer's challenge, okay? Make this woman young, petite, blonde,
Perky,
and pretty.
cheerful.
And still make her menacing.
Oh.
I thought it was weird for her to even say it's hard these days when she's, I mean, I know her
have
husband
servants,
died.
they have
Right,
big
so
house.
that's
Seems to be doing quite
right. So
nicely.
what's
There
so
are
hard?
bouquets of
Everything's
flowers.
relative.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all relative.
Suppose, but then what do we care?
They have to use the second best.
I didn't bring my pom-poms. I have some real concerns that you may or may not buy into. A lot of this is very self-indulgent. You came with an itinerary that you wanted to teach a lesson, and you ended up teaching a lesson as opposed to allowing the reader and the kid to discover her truths. A much more difficult task. That's the writer's craft.
Okay, the girl shows up, and at the end of the paragraph, like white blood cells running away from her.
Yes, yes.
Mood killer.
Yes.
You know.
You care. Maybe you care too quickly with these characters. You got to hold back a little, Dave. But I need to
I'm a
care about
compassionate
that. You
person.
are a compassionate fella. You are.
Hearing and criticism because it gives me more to think about and to understand that there's more dimensions to my character than I've actually
Don't
presented.
encourage him.
If you want negativity, see me first. It's fun to have, it's so rare for me to have an entire piece where I have very little negative to say.
I know, I almost don't recognize you.
I know it, I feel funny, I'm uncomfortable with it.
Are you going to disagree?
Absolutely, yeah. All right. When I read this summary, I said, I went into it with a bad attitude.
Repetition, and I'm still on Dave's team. I still think it would start off better with the kid and the father in the yard and having it happen.
No, don't ever agree with me.
I totally agree with Dave. I love the somber tone throughout.
Yes.
You really, maintain that, and
You understand misery.
I disagree again with Dave about point of view.
Me, you,
Oh my God, write that down.
Because because I worship Dave, so it's weird that I ever disagree with him. But I'm with Dave. I'm agreeing with you a lot lately, which is
I'm uncomfortable
It's
with it.
weird, but it's weird for me.
shaking in my
Weird for me too. I'm being Pollyanna for this one, so let me just be the curmudgeon for a second.
Wait, I'm sorry, there are 2 of us now?
No, I'm channeling you,
Thank you.
and now I'm going to channel Dave. So
I think she did a great job with this. Sorry.
No, I will take,
I feel the exact opposite.
I'm the opposite too. I feel like
Wait, it's
knowing-
Freaky Friday at Writers
Yeah.
Infusion. We're switching curmudgeon
Yeah.
and
No, I'm the
cheerful
curmudgeon,
Pollyanna.
maybe we are.
switch personalities. Carry on.
This is how
I'm going to take the other side. I love this. Absolutely. I thought it was fabulous to get into the era. I think the concept of the story is magnificent.
Well, I
Those
try to
first,
do both.
okay,
Yes.
well, for instance, the first 2 paragraphs, I'm into the story already. I think it's a beautiful story. I think she takes us to a place that's fascinating.
What next?
I have to say, right off, you give such a great sense of setting. I was right there in that bookstore.
Yes.
Beautiful language, very good sentence structure and use of verbs, and I loved all that.
Again, this is terrific. I totally enjoyed reading this. This is just fun.
You said, I love some of your descriptions. I put check pluses when I love beautiful language. On page 2, when you say, even the cheery splashes of primary colors that usually distinguish children's books from every other genre were somehow washed out and discolored, having the appearance of aged watercolors. I said,
I think this is a terrific story.
I really like this.
I really liked it.
I like this a
really
lot.
loved it.
Excellent word choices. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh. There are so many places where it's like, yeah, that is the perfect word. And it's not like she's using big words.
Right.
She's
Give an
moving words
example.
like scoot,
yes.
you know, which is like the perfect word for that place.
Yes.
Right.
There's an elegance to the writing.
Yep.
And the way I define elegant is taking something difficult and making it look simple. I think it's very well written. The tone is perfect for the situation. The people are like, I can see them like in the 7th gates of hell, just crawling through and trying to make it through the day. And I usually don't go first, but this kind of writing really aggravates me because I can't help you. It is just terrific. I'm sorry. I like to fire away at it, and I usually do, but I got nothing to help you here.
Thank you, Dave.
I would like a copy of the first published editions, signed, if you wouldn't mind.
You've got a deal.
I hate doing stories like this because they're so good. I don't have an awful lot to complain about, and that's the truth. I mean, I hate everything. And this is really, they'll vouch for it. I tried to hate it and failed.
That's the highest compliment. That's the highest compliment.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
It really has a fun atmosphere about it. It's like cheerfully grim, you know?
The writing is clear.
Yeah.
He has some
Yes.
excellent word choices
Yes.
in here. I mean, I kept hitting things and it's like, wow, that's a great way to phrase
Yep.
this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to work with here.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed your story.
Thanks.
I was struggling to find things that might be wrong with it. So I just want to start off by saying the characters were really fun. I want to read the rest of the story. It was very witty. And I just really liked it. Right.
I agree with Ed. There's some beautiful language. I noticed the bottom of page 2, I curled up like a comma. I can see
Right, I
that.
saw
It's
that.
really nice. And the next one, about her eyebrows, curving up and down on page 3. Curving up and down like a cartoon of birds in the sky. That was a nice description.
I was very moved by the whole scene.
Yeah.
It definitely elicited an emotional response in me. It wasn't like, oh, crying, no, my baby's. You know what I mean? You could do that and make it totally melodramatic and
Right.
have it be very fake. But this wasn't. This was very kind of quiet but shocking.
Yes, so
and I
shocking.
thought she did that really well.
Yeah, I thought the structure was perfect. The
Yeah.
way I really like this story. by
Yeah, I
the
did
way.
too.
This pushes a lot of my buttons.
The writing is wonderful,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
it
nice
really
writing.
flows. It
Yeah.
was there was no clutter in this writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
This flowed right through. It was very nice. I'd like to see it again revised. I'd like to see. I'd love to see it click because it's close. I mean, there are some things that are wrong, but I'd love to see. You got it. You know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're
rooting for you to get it right. Yeah.
I think this is really promising, and I'm gonna do it on camera. I'm gonna give you my card. Yeah.
You can totally dance. You should dance.
Because as I told her, I don't rep YA, but I had read some YA stuff at another conference I went to, and the voice jumped out at me, grabbed me, and I went on to sell 2 books in the series, right? So I'm trusting my gut here and saying that when you're finished, I'm going to want to see them, you know? Excellent criticism here, and there's always room for improvement as we talk. One other thing I would like to say, and I say it all the time, the person who says to me, oh my God, it's so great, you're going to love it. When it's finished, the ending is gonna move you, it's so beautiful. I know, excuse me, I'm gonna do it on camera, I know that book will suck. I am not gonna give you more than a page.
Right.
And an editor isn't even gonna give you half a page.
Right.
So you know, I don't know if these guys know how to do it. You're really brave to do this. You're doing it. And you're not crying. Right on. And you're gonna say, you're gonna hate me. And then when you get over it, you're gonna appreciate it. Right? You know? You're supposed to grab me by the throat. And I don't need a sleeping pill tonight, because I can just read another paragraph of this, and I'm out, right? So as long as you can handle everything you're being told today, because rejection is part of being able to take it, and being able to pick and choose what works for you for rejection, is part of becoming a professional writer. And so the fact, again, like this lady, you're not here, you know, the other thing I hate is when someone in your position says to me, well, you just didn't understand it. So you didn't really get that in this part, this doesn't such a thing happen. You're not doing any of that. You're not being defensive. Inside of you, you might be saying, I hate that bitch.
I'm surprised though, when you walk away, it might seem really big. I mean, even when we meet ourselves as a writers group, you know, some weeks I walk away and there's almost nothing, and some weeks I walk away and there's a lot. And if it's more, then it can be overwhelming. But then the second I sit down, it's fine.
She's exactly right. That's what I tell my writers all the time. We're getting all this criticism. It feels like you're being beaten up. Just put the phone down, because I'm usually on the phone, and walk away, go out for a walk, get an ice cream or something, and don't even just let the back of your brain start working on it. And by the time you sit down to it, this is the thing I always love. By the time you sit down to it, it'll be clear to you, or clearer, what you want to do. Every I in that paragraph, look at that, right? In the top of the staircase, I couldn't see in the kitchen. I heard everything. I sat. I remember. I wanted. I didn't. I felt. Well, guess what I thought? Right? This is. You shouldn't get discouraged. Hopefully, she'll get inspired. And
thank you everyone else for joining us for this episode of Writers Infusion. We'll see you next time, which will be in 5 seconds.
All right, we do have to wrap it up. So I guess we'll wrap it up. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Writers Infusion, and keep writing. Thanks.
And thank you everyone else for joining us for this episode of Writers Infusion. We will see you next time, and keep writing.
Thank you for submitting. We hoped that our comments today will help you with a rewrite at all if you decide to do that. And thank you everyone else for joining us for this episode of Writers Infusion. We will see you next time. Keep writing.